Hello everyone. Another day, another live stream, news summary from Moscow. Today is 17th of July. Now it's 11 o'clock in the morning Moscow time, and as always, I have prepared quite a number of news on some major developments, and hopefully you will find this episode informative and useful. Many thanks to all of you, dear friends, for joining this stream, and of course, many thanks to everybody who will either join later on or will watch video recording of this live stream sometime during the day or maybe tomorrow. Before I start, let me just once again mention that this media project is completely subscriber funded and only exists as long as I have your support. And therefore, if you find my work interesting and useful, if you like what you see and what you hear on my channels, in my videos, please consider to become a Patreon of the project or supporter. You can do it through several means. You can donate through PayPal or Boosty platforms. You can subscribe to my page on Patreon or the Boosty. When it comes to Patreon and Boosty, dear friends, I have on regular basis updates there, but as you probably noticed, unfortunately, I have somehow managed to catch virus in this hot weather, and therefore I was unable to make extra content this week for now. But maybe today. But on regular basis, on weekly basis, I have some extra content on Patreon and Boosty too. As my thank to all the members of community that are supporting through Patreon and Boosty with monthly subscriptions. Also, of course, one might support with a crypto. Very rare occasion when I have a donation with through crypto, but it is a possibility. And during the live streams, you can use super chat feature on Rumble, and there also become for donation, and there also become premium subscriber on Rumble, or you can gift premium subscription to other members of the community. So there are certain ways to support this project. That's all I want to say. And there are dear friends, that's been said. Let's go through some news now, and well, a lot to unpack, isn't it? A lot to unpack, from Ukrainian crisis and their escalation in the Middle East to some crazy statements that Trump is making in US, insulting his own base, his own supporters. Some craziness is going on out there in Washington. But let's go through news one by one. And first of all, this report from RIA Novosti that Russian air defense systems on duty intercepted 122 drones that were launched by Kyiv regime with the assistance of NATO to strike deep into Russian territory. I can give you some more specifics on that. So 43 drones were shot down in the Bryansk region, 38 drones in the Kursk region, 10 drones in Oryol region, also 6 drones each in Voronezh and Smolensk regions, 5 drones in Belgorod region. In Moscow region, Kaluga region, and Crimea, 3 drones each. In Leningrad and Lipetsk regions, 2 drones each and 1 drone over the Tula. So as you can see, the French geography of these long-range strikes deep into Russian territory is massive. 12 regions were targeted, I believe, last night, early hours of this morning, and air defense systems managed to neutralize 122 drones that were launched by enemy. But unfortunately, these drone attacks quite often cause casualties among civilians, and we have this report from RIA Novosti also that woman died in a drone attack in the Belgorod region. Yet another civilian casualty of this Western-backed terrorist regime of Zelensky and NATO. Also, 3 teenagers were injured in Voronezh region as a result of drone attack of Ukrainian and NATO terrorists. This is preliminary information still. It's 11 in the morning, so during the day we might receive some update from state institutions, and if any additional information, of course, I will share later on my Telegram or Twitter X page, and possibly in the next update that I might have today. RIA Novosti is also reporting that temporary restrictions were lifted at the Pulkovo airport this morning. And by the way, probably you already noticed in my reporting that Kiev regime and their US militaries that are participating or assisting Kiev regime in terrorist attacks on Russia did listen to demand of Trump about strikes on St. Petersburg and Moscow. And last night, number of drones were intercepted in the Leningrad region. St. Petersburg, by the way, used to be called Leningrad, isn't it? But city itself has a new name now, St. Petersburg, historical name, but region around the northern capital still has Leningrad name. So it's a Leningrad region. So NATO was targeting excuse me, NATO was targeting St. Petersburg and also Moscow. Number of drones were intercepted in this direction, and as a result of a security measure, at one point Pulkovo airport in St. Petersburg stopped operating, and restrictions were lifted sometime later. Vzglyad newspaper is also reporting, thank you. Vzglyad newspaper is also reporting that US-based group, by the way, allegedly ultra-right group, claimed the responsibility for the murder of SBU Colonel Voronich. Last week, I reported, and many other media outlets in alternative media reported about execution, basically, of the Ukrainian terrorist from this terrorist organization, SBU, that called the Security Service of Ukraine. Two Azerbaijani citizens allegedly were involved in this assassination of a Ukrainian colonel, terrorist, once again, by the way, terrorist and the mass murderer that was involved in the killing of people on the Russian territory. And then these two Azerbaijani citizens, based on statements from Kiev regime, were assassinated by SBU forces. And there was claims from a number of officials from Kiev regime that it was Russia that was involved somehow in this assassination. I wouldn't have any issues, by the way, if Russian security services will exterminate all their Ukrainian terrorists, right? Everybody in Kiev-controlled territory who directly or indirectly engaged in the terrorist attacks on Russia. I mean, it's that's what security services should do, actually. But questions still are there, right? And today, when I see this news, I was thinking I'm going to share this news with the community because it's quite a strange claim to make on part of this US-based group that it was them that take out this Ukrainian so-called colonel, right? Let me give you some details on that. So, murder of SBU Colonel Ivan Voronich in Kiev is connected with the activities of the ultra-right organization, the Base, which advocates radical methods of struggle. The Ukrainian branch of their far-right American organization, the Base, known also as a White Phoenix, has claimed responsibility for the murder of Ukrainian Security Service Colonel Ivan Voronich. Media reports the White Phoenix statement reads, "We, the White Phoenix organization, are proud of our comrades who are cleansing Ukraine of a dirty-blooded herd." That's what they saying, by the way. Probably some psychopaths, right? According to media, representatives of the anti-terrorist structures, citing The Guardian, considered the statement of the White Phoenix to be credible. And Guardian is a British media outlet, right? The special services consider this incident as evidence of the organization's growing activity on the territory of Ukraine. And yet again, friends, according to statements from Kiev regime itself, 2 Azerbaijani nationals were involved, female and male, involved in assassination of this Ukrainian terrorist from SBU terrorist organization, right? And now this American organization, for whatever reason, is claiming to be involved in that. I don't know, maybe. What is your take, dear friends? I never heard before about such organization like BASE or White Phoenix or something. Are they white supremacists or something like that? Probably they are some sort of a fascist organization, right? Because in their statement, they claim that they are proud of their comrades who are cleansing Ukraine of the dirty-blooded horde. I mean, this kind of language is something that you expect from some fascists, right? So maybe there is some fascist organization in US that has its links in Ukraine, and for whatever reason decided to take out this Voronezh element. Maybe this organization was used by main intelligence directorate of defense, so-called defense ministry of Ukraine, that is led by Budanov, another terrorist. Because as we all know, dear friends, between SBU and their main intelligence directorate, there is a war going on, right? And there was many occasions when they were killing each other, literally, right? Assassinating each other and so on. There was even an attempt on Budanov's life from SBU, if you remember. And at some point, SBU even tried to take out Zaluzhny, right? And then London get involved, and eventually, London did talk Zaluzhny, former head of general staff in Kiev-controlled territory, into London as a so-called ambassador of Ukraine. So, very strange story, dear friends. I don't have strong opinion on this. Maybe it is a possibility that main intelligence directorate of so-called Ukraine used this radical group in US, the BASE or White Phoenix, to basically take out this colonel from their SBU, and then to divert attention towards, from possible involvement of the main intelligence director. I don't know. Nevertheless, I think interesting news worth a little bit of our attention. Also, Vzгляд newspaper is reporting that, well, when it comes to degeneracy of the Kiev regime, by the way, this news probably is one of the clearest demonstrations of that. Lvov mayor, by the way, Lvov is, of course, a Western Ukrainian city. It's a Polish city, actually, but located in modern Western Ukraine. So Lvov mayor proposes exchanging remains of the Soviet soldiers for Ukrainian POWs. In Lvov, work on examining the remains of the Soviet soldiers from the territory of the Hill of Glory has been completed. The number of people discovered was 355. Lvov mayor Andrei Sadavoy has proposed exchanging, that's another example, by the way, how brainwashed people are. Andrei Sadavoy, Russian name, Russian surname, and this is Ukrainian fascist. This criminal believes that he is not Russian. He lost completely roots through his actual history. He believes that he is somehow ethnic Ukrainian, ethnicity that was created by British aristocracy, and then German aristocracy also plays some role in that, right? To create this political Ukrainianism to harm Russia, right? But nevertheless, Andrei Sadavoy, how despicable this individual is, by the way. Russian name, Russian surname, and brainwashed on the level that he is a Ukrainian Nazi now and hates Russia and everything Russian. And it's beyond understanding of normal people, I guess, this kind of transformation. Nevertheless, so Mayor of Lvov proposed exchanging the remains of Soviet soldiers exhumed from the Hill of Glory from 4 captured Ukrainian soldiers. Their publication Strana reports. According to him, work on the memorial has been completed. A total of 355 remains have been discovered, which will then be reburied there at the Golokovsky Cemetery. We are ready to exchange all these remains for Ukrainian defenders, Sadavoy said on his Telegram channel. According to him, the metal garlands from the memorial and their eternal flame structure will be transferred to the territory of Terror Museum. Total despicable elements, by the way. They destroyed the entire memorial, by the way. They dig the graves of the fallen Soviet soldiers and they're destroying entire memorial. And that's the creatures, by the way, that Western countries are supporting. Is that not shameful, man? That this is the creatures that Western countries are actively supporting and they're glorifying in some sense. I have no words, man. This is total, absolutely despicable stuff is happening, right? And you know what? I don't know what Moscow will do, how Moscow will react on this. Of course, the Russian Foreign Ministry will condemn that memorial of the fallen Soviet heroes were destroyed and their graves were dug out. Every normal human being should condemn this tremendous crime, right? But and same time, I wouldn't be surprised at all if Moscow will say yes, we will, we will exchange POWs for the remains of the fallen Soviet heroes, and maybe Russia will exchange even 1-to-1 POWs on the remains of these 355 fallen Soviet heroes. It's a possibility, and these heroes will have a proper ceremony of the burial here in Russia. And probably that's exactly what is going to happen. But when it comes to this Western-backed terrorist regime of Zelensky, by the way, I'm telling you, level of their degeneration is beyond their any understanding whatsoever. It's just I don't know, man. These are like rabid animals, man. That's what Zelensky and his criminal associates are, man. I struggle to call them humans, for God's sake. They are digging graves of fallen heroes, destroying memorials of their fallen heroes. What normal human being will do that? No one. It's just how it is, right? To continue, dear friends, RIA Novosti is reporting that Russian military liberated their Novokhatskaya settlement in the DPR. Let me show you on the map this direction, dear friends. It's a southern-western flank of Pokrovsk-Mirnograd agglomeration. We can call it Southernetsk sector too. So this is Novokhatskaya settlement, almost on the border with Dnipropetrovsk region, and basically to reach borderline, to liberate DPR completely in this direction and reach borderline with Dnipropetrovsk region. And there is only 2 settlements left. One is Zelyony Gai, and most likely battles for Zelyony Gai already has begun. And another one is Andreevka Klitsova. So I guess maybe a week or 2, and both these settlements will be under full Russian control. And then simultaneously, by the way, in same time frame, Alexandrograd, this small village on the southern side, probably will be liberated also. And this pocket of resistance of the Western-backed terrorist regime of Zelensky in DPR will be finished off, right? Also, Russian troops conducting offensive, local-scale offensive operations in Pokrovsk-Mirnograd agglomeration area, in Konstantinovka direction, and I think it is highly likely. I mean, if you take a look at the map, dear friends, you can see this pocket, isn't it? this pocket of resistance of Western-backed terrorist regime of Zelensky in DPR, and I think it is a possibility. It is a possibility that before end of this summer, entire this area will be liberated by Russian forces. I'm no military expert, so therefore one should take my prediction on military developments with pinch or even mountain of salt. Yet again, I mean, absence of military experience is a significant stuff. So, and I never claimed to be military expert, but based on reports from many sources, my reading of the big picture is that we should expect something big in this area, by the way, and maybe before end of this summer, not just Pokrovsk, Mirnograd will be liberated, and Konstantinovka settlement, but also main strongholds of Kiev regime on the territory of the DPR, which is Kramatorsk-Slavyansk agglomeration. Let's see, by the way, Russian troops, I think, are locked and ready to achieve significant progress in this direction. Also, reports are coming in that Russian troops establish control of the Degtyarne settlement. This is right on the border, by the way, in the Kharkov region, right on the border with Russian territory. And Russian troops earlier liberated Milova settlement. I reported about it, and there are significant parts of surrounding forestry are under Russian control too right now. Also interesting reports coming from Volchansk, northern part of Kharkov region. Allegedly, Russian troops established full control over the northern part of Volchansk, and this city is divided by Volchya River, isn't it? And reports are that entire northern part of city is under full Russian control now, and Russian troops are conducting operations on the left bank of this river. Interesting developments in this regard. And I guess that's about it for a short summary on military developments. Of course, if you are looking for more news, detailed report about battles on line of contact, I recommend military channels, by the way, for that. They are providing great volume of information on daily basis. And if by chance you don't know no military channels in alternative media, then under my videos in the description box, I have a recommendation list of the channels that I follow, and you will find there at least several military channels. Let's continue with some more news now. And well, we can have a little break and laugh. A laugh is always good, isn't it, and always helpful, because well, official representative of State Department, by the way, went to make quite interesting statements yesterday while commenting on Trump, and better to listen to video than my explanation. I will give you this video, dear friends. Tell me what you will make of it in the comments.
Indication from your Russian counterparts that there's an interest in a diplomatic solution?
I would say that referring back to President Trump's remarks probably gives us the most immediate sense of whether or not he views things as being positive, or if he's happy with what Vladimir Putin has been doing. And of course, we've heard from him that he's not happy, is how I'll characterize it, that he's not impressed with the nature of how things have moved forward. And that's what we rely on. We hear, because he's a transparent man, the nature of his attitude about conversations and his assessment as the leader of the free world, of the entire world, effectively, that he's not happy. And I think his current actions of taking a path in order to provide Ukraine with more defensive weapons is an indication of that. But I've said before that while he is a diplomat and is forever optimistic about diplomacy, he's also a realist. And the world has seen, as Iran has seen.
Okay, that's enough, I guess. That's enough. Did you catch what he said? there, that Trump is no longer, it's no longer enough for Trump and his administration to call him a leader of the free world. And I really doubt collective West can be called the free world. I mean, let's be real here. But she called Trump a leader of the world. I mean, whole world. I mean, these people are truly delusional, man, extremely dangerous, and they're extremely delusional, right? And then she went to talk about Iran again. You know, in terms of what basically she did what Lindsey Graham did previously when on the topic of this 50-day ultimatum that Trump issued. And this is also extremely dangerous. These delusional elements maybe really are thinking that they can strike Moscow as they did strike Iran. These psychopaths may be really considering such an option, and dear friends, I don't know. I really hope there is at least a few adequate people in Trump's administration and in the Pentagon and the CIA, and they will stop these cycles. Otherwise, we should start counting days before end of this world. You know, if these idiots really go ahead with their military escalation with Russia, direct military escalation, then, well, too bad, right, for whole of humanity. But, I mean, this video clearly demonstrates mental state of the U.S. administration. They clearly are, you know, they are losing it. They are losing it, man. These freaking psychos, right? But nevertheless, let's continue with some more news. RIA Novosti is reporting that Kremlin calls for pressure on Ukraine to hold the talks with Russia. Well, I mean, that's also quite interesting. The West must put pressure on Kiev to hold a new round of talks with Moscow, said Presidential Press Secretary Dmitry Peskov. I give you a quote from his statement. "We are calling on everyone to do this. In this case, the main ones are the mediation efforts of the United States, President Trump and his team. Many statements have been made, many words about disappointment. Of course, we want to hope that pressure is being exerted on the Ukrainian side in a parallel with this." And okay, it's I struggle to understand why this statement was needed to be made. Why Moscow, or representative of Kremlin in this case, is calling on the West or on US leadership to impose pressure on their proxy Kyiv regime, when they know perfectly well that they're not going to be heard, right? They're just not going to be heard. And also, I struggle to understand why this word mediation or the mediator being used in regards to US. Is US really mediator? I mean, someone should ask Putin directly, does he really think that US is a mediator when thousands of Russian citizens have been killed with US weapons? I mean, Peskov, he's a press secretary of the Russian president, but you know, sometimes maybe he's saying something that his own personal opinion, I don't know, but someone should ask Putin directly, is he really thinks or considers US to be, or US leadership to be mediators? While due to their activity, many Russian citizens were killed due to criminal activity of their very same US leadership. How are they mediators, for God's sake? Why you are using this word, mediator? Peskov. I don't know, man. I mean, this man should be replaced. I'm telling you, man. I never understood why Peskov maintained his position as a press spokesman for this long, man. I don't get it, but you know, it is what it is. And if Peskov is using this word mediator, then why should we be surprised that RT, for example, is also referring to US in its articles as a mediator? And I already expressed my disappointment about it in quite a few occasions. It's strange, isn't it? Strange, man. Why Russian side is trying to trying too much to be polite towards the US leadership, man. What kind of game is that? I don't get it. But nevertheless, by the way, it is what it is. Also, RT is reporting that Trump catch surprised, by the way, many NATO allies with statements that they're gonna pay now for US weapons. So several NATO member states were not notified in advance that they would be asked to fund new armed deliveries to Ukraine and the US President Donald Trump's latest proposal. Reuters has reported, citing European officials, and it's not just some countries were surprised, by the way, because they knew nothing about this new idea of Trump, but a number of European states actually are already refusing to have any part on this scheme, right? For example, France, Italy, Czech Republic, and Hungary, by the way. I mean, Hungary would not participate in this anyways, right? Because Hungary's position was very clear that they don't want to have any part in further escalation of this conflict, and that is they don't want to have any part in weapon supplies to Kyiv regime. But France, Italy, and Czech Republic, I mean, they are refusing to participate in that for their own reasons. They want their own weapons to be sent to Kyiv regime, and they want their military-industrial complex to receive money, not their American military-industrial complex, right? And reports are that probably another big one in Europe, Spain, will also refuse to take part in this new scheme of Trump. A number of other countries too. Eventually, Poland kind of not on the board too, another big one, let's say. And eventually we might see a situation when, with the exception of UK, with the exception of few Baltic states, especially Czechoslovakia ones, by the way, I mean, Lithuania, Latvia, Estonia, no one else would be on the board of this project of the Trump. And well, UK may fund this process. UK and US can force Germany to fund this process, but when it comes to these Chihuahuas in the Baltics, well, they might actually, allocate another $1,000 or $2,000 for additional support of Kyiv regime, and that's about it, I guess, right? So burden on this project, if it will even go ahead, will lay on the taxpayers of Germany and UK, most likely. That's how it's gonna play out. Взгляд newspaper is also reporting that Hungary demands EU sanctions against Ukrainian military leaders. I reported many times about tense relationships between Budapest and the Kyiv regime for many reasons, by the way, and latest escalation is due to death of a Hungarian citizen who had also Ukrainian citizenship, who was killed by the so-called recruitment officers of the Kyiv regime while trying to kidnap him during the forceful mobilization, right? And Hungary is extremely upset. Hungary's leadership probably had enough of the inhuman attitude of Kyiv regime towards ethnic Hungarians on Kyiv-controlled territory, and they are now openly demanding European Union, Ukraine to be punished, Ukrainian military personnel to be punished for organizing a forced conscription that led to the death of an ethnic Hungarian in a Transcarpathian region, right? And even though I don't think Brussels will consider this demand of Hungary, but Hungarians will pay attention to it, right? And I think Budapest is already preparing its army to get engaged with the Ukrainian Nazis in military terms and to secure Transcarpathia, by the way. I think Hungarian leadership, Hungarian political leadership, military leadership is already working on the plans to secure lives of ethnic Hungarians in Transcarpathia that don't want to fight Russia, by the way, right? Don't want to fight for geopolitical agenda of their globalists and their terrorist regime of Zelensky. Rightfully so, right? Why should they fight and die for them, man? And therefore, I think soon we're gonna see even bigger escalation between Budapest and the Kiev regime, and the time will come when Hungarian militaries, Hungarian security services will go ahead and secure Transcarpathia region and their ethnic Hungarians, hundreds of thousands of ethnic Hungarians that are living there, by the way. Right, so a topic that deserves attention for sure, because they're going to be far-reaching consequences of this escalation between the sides. Hello everyone, I hope you find informative and useful this short clip from main news update, and if so, please click that like button and leave some commentary just about anything. It might help to deal with the algorithm and reach wider audience. And if you like my work in general and want to support to save this media project, you can assist through several ways. You can donate to this project through PayPal platform or Boosty, also with the crypto currencies, or you can subscribe to my Patreon page and page on Boosty, where I have quite a lot of extra content on regular basis. All the links are on this video in description box and in the pinned comment. And of course, many thanks to everyone who already helped and continues to support. Thank you.